to Cork Cancer Care Centre live meditation this morning. I'm James, for those who don't know me. I'm one of the clinical psychotherapists and counsellors here and mindful educator. And I suppose even though the centre's doors are closed, they're still manning everything online and on the phones, so you can still send emails, ring in, and people are there to look after you and help you and care for you in whatever way they can. So today's meditation morning is about starting at the start, I suppose, for everybody. Some people will be used to meditation and other people won't. So we'd like to thank you all for joining us this morning. Hopefully in these times that we're in that it will help somewhat. So we're going to start with what is a meditation all about. We're going to cover a little bit on mindfulness, and we're going to cover a little bit on what we call in our field, in my field, autopilot to aware. So the first thing is, what's meditation? So there's many different definitions out there. One of them is a mental technique characterized by the absorption of the mind on an object, either mental or physical, and used to develop and maintain a state of mind. Another one is the act of giving your attention. The one that I particularly like to use comes from scientist Dr. Judy Lewis, and what she says is, from her research and studies, meditation refers to a family of mental training practices that are designed to familiarize the practitioner, those who are doing meditation, with specific times of mental processes. So what does all that mean? Basically, it means that you're exercising the brain and the capacity of the different scenarios, the different areas of your brain, and you're training them just like you train your body in a gym. And there's many different types of meditation. So you have mindfulness meditation, focused attention meditation, movement meditation, visualization, spiritual, mantra, transcendental meditation. But what we're going to focus on is the mindfulness meditation aspect of it. So what's mindfulness? So one of the leading earliest pioneers of bringing mindfulness to the Western world is a man called John Kabat-Zinn, and his definition is mindfulness is the awareness that arises from paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. Another really renowned mindfulness teacher from Vietnam, his name is Thich Nhat Hanh, and his definition of mindfulness is a practice of being fully present and alive, body and mind united. How would I explain it? Mindfulness is about how am I feeling and thinking right here, right now. What's going on inside me? What's it all about? So like an investigation. So why should we do or practice meditation or mindfulness? And that's where we're talking about the autopilot mode. So generally, on our day-to-day basis, our mind is constantly thinking and isn't really totally focusing on what it is that we're doing right here, right now. So we tend to have an habitual reactive mind, which is when we hear something or feel something, it instantly takes us to an instant reaction without any awareness or processing or understanding of what's going on, just straight away reacting to whatever is triggering us. And generally the default mode for us is negativity in the first instance. And we're always ruminating and thinking about the past or worrying about the future. And we're distracted, so we're less aware. And we miss out on the now because we've lack of focus. So meditation helps with all this. So what we know from autopilot to aware is that it's based on past habits. We're not paying much attention to what we're actually doing right now. And there's a study by a chap called Killingsworth from Harvard, and they've provided evidence, and they estimate that approximately 50% of our time we're mind wandering. So we're thinking about something other than what we're doing right here, right now. And it happens quite naturally. It's habitual, as we said. So, but the trouble is that we're not really present with what we're doing. So how can we really listen to other people? How can we learn from what's happening around us? How can you appreciate things? And how is that affecting other people around us if we're not in the present moment with them and we're worrying or ruminating? So, with true scientific research and true evidence that has been proven on how the mind and the capacity of the mind and the brain can work, we've found through these researches that mindfulness and meditation helps to bring us back into the now, into the present moment, and it helps us to manage and cope and deal with different things that will be affecting us. Obviously, at the moment, we're all worried about the virus and the repercussions of this and what's going to happen and what's going to happen in the future, how long it's going to last, all that type of stuff. The problem is it's okay to worry, and it's quite natural, and it's okay to, I wonder what if is going to happen in 12 weeks time, 4 weeks time, 2 weeks time. But the problem is that it's creating sensations in your body which are uncomfortable, they're negative, they're not good sensations. And it's affecting what's called the central nervous system in your body. And the central nervous system in your body is about controlling how the body's working together as one. And it would like to work in a beneficial way for you. So it would like to be in what we call rest and digest mode, which is where we're calm, we're aware of what's going on, we're able to logically come to logical conclusions, and we're able to focus on what we're doing right now for whatever period of time that is. So if you're out in the garden and you're gardening, that you're actually absorbed in the process of gardening rather than worrying about what's going to happen in 2 hours time or what time is tea or dinner. So there's lots of benefits of it. And there was a book written by a guy called Stephen Coveney, and it's well worth reading. It's called The Man's Search for Meaning, and it's about the life of a man called Viktor Frankl, who was a Holocaust survivor and a psychologist. And there's an anonymous quote in the book, and the quote goes, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our reaction, and in our reaction lies our growth and freedom." So what does all that mean? In that space, we can choose how we're going to react. So what it means is, when we're triggered, when we have the sensation to be angry and we're going to react with anger, or we're sad and we're going to react with sadness, or we're frustrated and we're going to react with frustration, there's always a moment. There's a moment before you actually react to whatever way you're going to do, and that's the space he's talking about. So how do we do that? Well, that's why we're here. Mindfulness and meditation. Being aware. So what I'll do is, let's do a little micro practice together while we're here. So first of all, I'm going to explain it to you, and then you can try it out with me. So the first thing is, we're going to take 3 breaths. And on the first breath, I invite you to just pay attention to the breath in your body, what it's doing, the reactions to your body. The second breath is going to be allowing yourself to relax the body. And the third breath is just asking, with an investigation, I suppose, and a curiosity of what's important for you now. So we'll try that. So on breath 1, just paying attention to your body and what's happening, sensations. On breath 2, just allowing the body to relax. And on breath 3, just asking what's important for you right now. Now, from a scientific point of view, you may be feeling a little bit calmer. You may be becoming really aware of the live chat that we're having. But from a scientific point of view, we know we're generally on autopilot. We're constantly getting distracted over and over again. Our minds tend to focus on worrying about or what's happening in the future or could happen in the future, or we're distracted by what things that happened in the past and how we could wanted to change them or whatever. And all of this tends to affect us in a negative way. We know that. So what do? How do we become more aware of ourselves and the world around us with more awareness and less distraction? coming out of the autopilot mode and reducing the negativity that's affecting us, creating, I suppose, being okay more of the time. I like that saying that we've seen quite often around mental health, which is it's okay to not be okay. And it is okay to not be okay, but how do you manage that? This is one way of being able to manage it, by using meditation and mindfulness. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into now a deeper practice of meditation for today's meditation. And I'm going to guide you through it, but again, I'll go through the steps. So as we begin, I'm going to ask you to create an intention for yourself for today. A reason, maybe like you want to feel less stressed, you want to feel more calm, or you want to increase your well-being, and so on, whatever is right for you. Then we'll go through to following the breath. So just bringing gentle attention to the process of actually breathing and what's happening and how is it working and what's it doing in our body. Then we'll be talking about paying attention, gathering your attention with your breathing. You may even find calmness and more concentration on listening to me. And then we'll be talking about noticing distractions, because it's going to happen, especially for those people who are only doing it for the first time or are beginning meditators. You're going to be distracted constantly. That's what the mind does. Then we're going to bring attention back to what you notice when your attention's wandered. Can you bring your refocus back in? And when your mind wanders or gets distracted, you may have thoughts of something like, self-criticism, which is a great thing that we always turn to. We all are good at self-criticizing ourselves, taking out that bad and beating ourselves up. It's a default. It's the default part of our mind. It's the negative. It's the negativity straight into it, and it usually is about self. You may even be thinking about, I can't do this meditation thing and stuff like that, and so on. So then with that noticing, we're going to be talking about letting go of the self-criticism, being a bit gentle with yourself, understanding it's okay, it's natural, and sort of being able to say, oh, well, I'm like building this muscle in my mind, I'm exercising the different parts of my brain more beneficially for me, and noticing that even then you've noticed that you've got distracted, and just bring yourself back to the awareness of wherever we are. Obviously we'll start with the breath and the breathing and the sensations, and then listening to whatever I'm saying as I guide you through it. So as we begin, what I invite you to do is get comfortable in your chair or lie in your bed or stand up or whatever's comfortable for you, but just make sure that your body's in a comfortable position. Perhaps if you're sitting in a chair, you may feel your feet on the floor. If you're lying on a couch or bed, just becoming aware of the weight of your body on the chair or the bed or the couch that you're sitting on. And then just allow your eyes to gently close. And it's great if you can close your eyes, but if you can't close your eyes, then just a soft gaze down about 45-degree angles as you listen to what I'm going to say. Now, when we hold formal meditation, which what this is, it's a formal meditation we're going to do together, we'll always, or generally people will use something like this, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with that bell, and then when the meditation's over, we're going to finish with the bell as well. And feel free to ask questions, write comments after the meditation's done. Linda is in the office, she's looking after, I hope, saying hello to everybody and whatever, and talking to everybody and chatting away. And when I'm finished, I'll go in and have a look at the comments. So if you have any comments or questions on anything that we've talked about today, or anything you want to know in the future, feel free to put them in there. And remember to pass on that the Cork Cancer Care Centre is available online and on the phone constantly throughout this challenging period of our lives. So when we're ready, we'll begin with the bell. And the important thing is just to make sure that your posture is comfortable for you. A posture that can help you remain alert, because it's not about going to sleep. Remain alert and relaxed at the same time. So as I said, if you're sitting, you may want to have your feet on the floor, put your hands on your thighs, and just gently closing your eyes or having that soft gaze down towards the ground. So it's about, I suppose, finding the optimal point between effort and relaxation. So letting go any tenseness. Because if you're too tense, it takes too much effort and it's tiring and you won't sustain it. And then if it's too little, then that causes you to sort of lose grip of your attention. So we're sort of trying to find a Goldilocks zone. Not too hard and not too loose. Perhaps you may even want to think of this. Imagine yourself as a majestic mountain. Just pretend to be that mountain sitting majestically. So then as we begin, just begin by connecting with your intention of this meditation that you're doing, this practice today. As I said, maybe you want to develop healthier ways to relate and to relax. Maybe it's you want to be more focused. Or maybe you just want some calmness, some time to come out of the autopilot mode. Or maybe it's just you've been interested in learning about meditation, what it feels like. So bringing attention to your breath now. You may notice different sensations in your body as you breathe. Perhaps the movement of the chest or the abdomen. Or the sensation of air passing at the tip of your nose or in the throat. Or a sense of the whole body just breathing naturally. Wherever the sensation is most vivid for you, just allowing your attention to rest there on this body breathing. As we continue through the meditation, just thinking of this sensation that you have most vividly now as your anchor point or your anchor breath. Whenever the mind is distracted or wanders, just bring it back to that feeling, to that sensation. So just breathing in and breathing out. Not trying to control the breath, just allowing it to happen. And maybe you could explore more deeply by counting with each exhale, starting at 1. And if your mind begins to wander, just bring yourself back to number 1 again. And can you be curious and kind with yourself, even as you bring your attention back to the breath? If the attention wanders, as soon as you notice the wandering, just simply returning the awareness to the breath, gently and kindly. Just allowing the breath to be a kind of home base, an anchor for awareness. Thoughts coming and thoughts going. And no need to push them away or chase after them or follow them. If the attention wanders, just simply returning to right here, right now, and to that anchor point, to the breath. And now let's all sit quietly, just for a few minutes, with silence, and just making the right amount of effort to follow the breath and the breathing, and just being aware of whatever arises. And remember, if your mind wanders, just bring it back to the sensations of breathing, your anchoring of the breath. If you've noticed that you've been distracted, just be kind to yourself for noticing. That's what the practice is about. It's about noticing when our attention has drifted and just bringing the attention back to the breathing and the breath. Perhaps you may feel a bit more relaxed. Perhaps you may feel there's some tension in your body still. And if there is, just allow this tension to drift away with each out-breath. So it's as if each in-breath you're breathing in calmness and relaxation, and each out-breath is helping you to release and let go any tension you may be holding in your body. And just following the waves of the breath as it comes in to the body, as it goes out of the body. Notice the different sensations that's happening as you're breathing. And just being gentle and kind with yourself if you get distracted, which is natural. And just bringing your awareness back to the breathing once again. And then in a while, when you hear the sound of the bell to end the meditation, just be gentle and calm with yourself as you bring your awareness back to the room. Just gently opening your eyes fully, returning awareness to the room, perhaps maybe having a stretch. And what I'd invite you to do now is not to just think very much about the practice as being finished or over, but perhaps what is it like now to continue to feel anchored in this moment as you move on with whatever it is you're going to do for the next part of your day. So I hope this was a benefit and a bit of an introduction to meditation, which hopefully once a week we'll get to do something around mindful meditation. And again, if you have any comments or questions, please put them in to the chat box, and Linda and myself will respond to them later on. And please, if you can just pass on the message that the Cork Cancer Care Centre is still open, even though the doors are closed. We're available on the phone, on email. The girls are working away at home and stuff. So everybody is still here. If you've any challenges or help, or you just want to have a chat, just connect with them. Just thinking, we're not going anywhere. Everybody here is still around to try and support and help those who need us at this time. So I thank you very much for listening to me this morning. Hopefully you'll pop back in next week and we'll see what next week is about. And until then, just carry on feeling a little bit more anchored, hopefully. And I'll talk to you next time.